When you think, you draw on the thoughts in the universe, in the cosmos. Every thought you make continues to vibrate eternally in the cosmos. And every thought you make is not actually made by you, but drawn by you. Even its misperception, it's there for you to choose and draw on. The whole of creation is a set-up job. It's set up as a perfect school. It's here to teach you. And you will draw on such lessons and such pages and points as are appropriate to your learning and experience. That you go through this program, this experience, that you be anchored eternally in a harmony that allows you complete freedom of who you are from your experience and your being in the universe, will arm you for an eternal place in heaven, secure in the sense of being no problem to any, no matter what you choose to create, which you will do freely, choosing whatever you choose. And you will contribute to the beauty and wonderfulness of heaven, God's family, including, of course, God himself. It's a fantastic creation. Thank you, Dad. Now you can calm the mind and pick up any thought in the universe, but you want to pick up appropriate thoughts in harmony with the lessons you're being taught, the level, the position you are in the school. You don't want access to lessons at random. They won't make sense. They'll be misunderstood. You want the appropriate next thought to your current inquiry and development. So the calmness helps you to call upon such. You will draw it to you in the calmness, because you are mirroring into the universe your present need, your present state. And therefore the right thought comes to you. I was going to say instantly, as is right and fitting. You see, at this level of our development being the hour referring to us that are here in the universe, everything is thought, in thought. It's the thought level that we're working on. So, in the Jesus teaching, it's not simply to kill someone that's harmful. It's the thought of wanting to, or the thought of being angry. To be angry with is just a state of thought, you see. You might act out the anger by being violent or difficult in some way, but the anger is the thought. It's the emotion. You could say it's the thought of the heart. It's an emotional thought. The heart does a lot of thinking. What we associate with emotions, but they are thoughts in a general sort of pervasive background to our present consciousness. We might be ill at ease, we might be stressed, we might be worried, fearful, happy, and so on. We're experiencing an emotion. We have a general thought background going on in our personality. That's generated by the heart, which of course is physically pumping around blood, but its relationship, its relevance is to what's supplying, what's calling upon the thoughts we have, the thoughts of the mind. So it's calling the mind to behave in a certain way and call on certain thoughts from the universe. And we continue in consciousness in that way accordingly. So we control the emotions by controlling not just the thoughts of the mind, but also the background that causes the mind to call upon certain thoughts. And the background is the emotions, the thoughts of the heart. Now, Eastern religion was very aware of this so that it would train you in if you like, controlling your emotions. Western religion doesn't directly target that. Christianity approaches the problem differently by giving you a peace of mind, a calming of the heart as well, by an assurance of God being your Heavenly Father who loves you and cares for you. So you relax from a causal point of view, and therefore you tend to call in the appropriate thoughts. You know, we say in an everyday sense, well, we see it not just from our own narrow perspective, but we start to get God's view on the thing, and we become, if you like, more objective, less bogged down in some emotional reaction, you know. It's a far superior way of handling it than meditation. I mean, meditation takes training, takes understanding, technique, time, effort, opportunity. Whereas trust, well, does this appeal to you or doesn't it? Does it appeal to you that you can trust that there may be a wonderful Heavenly Father caring for you and running the show? Isn't that thought entrancing? I find it entrancing. It's my ideal. And if I'm in uncertainty, isn't it all reasonable to assume such? What do I gain by assuming the reverse? And even if you've convinced me with argument that I should do according to the way you handle it instead of my way, look at the results. I'm flying and you aren't. In other words, what I'm saying is, try my way. If it works, you're not going to feel worried as to why it works, only that it does work. My goodness, this is worth doing. Where was I? Hang on. Oh, that's where I should be. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Dad. I know what. Look, and I can say, I have it on good authority. 2,000 years of what's been accepted as good authority in the Jesus story. Jesus came to tell us God is our Heavenly Father, and His name is therefore Father, Dad, Abba, whatever you like to call it. Beat that if you can. And why would you want to, for goodness sake? Surely you want to embrace it with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Bless you. Thank you, Dad. Let me just add, we do have a sort of meditative approach, or a substitute in Christianity. You come into the church, we get you to sing for a few songs first. In fact, if you're at Penty Church, we might just take off and sing for the next 3 hours, and you won't get a word in edgeways as a preacher. We set the background, we set the heart accordingly. We review all the wonderful possibilities of God and His goodness. And the congregation is transformed onto a different plane. They can hear God talking to them without the preacher opening his mouth. And one of them will burst forth into, well, some utterance that it's not necessarily what's speaking to the rest of the congregation, but nobody's too concerned. They're just prophesying. Take it or leave it. If it was for you, good. If it wasn't, well, no problem. And some people, I think Marshall may be one of them, try to do it by speech. Sometimes I realise that the content is all very well of what I'm saying, but the effect is actually being achieved by the words. A bit like alliteration emphasises a particular sound. You know, the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. But I can have words with the right association in endless succession, I see, in what I've said. And that resets the heart. And you and I feel the presence of God, and tears flow up in my eyes, and some of you too. Oh, and I don't mean tears of sorrow now, I mean tears of joy, tears of devotion. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to be setting the heart by this very discourse. Do you see what I mean? Bless you. Thank you, Dad.